Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Manufacturer and Business Associations Member Engagement Webinar on Navigating Global Trade Compliance with Logistics Plus. My name is Patty Welther, and I'm on staff here at the Manufacturer and Business Association. Before we get started, I did want to remind everyone your microphones are muted. So if you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat box at the top of the screen. And also, we are recording today's webinar. Now, if you import or export already, you know that international trade is a complex maze of rules and regulations. Logistics Plus, who manages the MBA's logistics program, can support your firm's import and export activities, either as an outsourced strategic partner or assist with your existing compliance team. Today, we'll hear from Adam Mook, Gretchen Blau, and Scott Frederick at Logistics Plus. And now, without further ado, Scott, you're up first.
Great, thanks, Patty. And good morning. Again, thank you for joining us for this Navigating the Complexities of Global Trade Compliance webinar. We are proud to partner with the MBA to bring MBA members comprehensive logistics solutions, VIP services, and exclusive savings. So glad to be here with you today. As Patty mentioned, you have myself. I am the VP of Marketing and LTL Care Relations for Logistics Plus. I also have two very smart people with me on the international side of things. I have Adam Mook, who's our Compliance Department Manager, and Gretchen Blau, who's our Customs Brokerage Manager, and she's also a licensed customs broker. Just as a quick introduction, again, reminder, Logistics Plus was founded in 1996 by our CEO, Jim Berlin, and we are headquartered in the historic and iconic Union Station downtown. Picture of it there on the slide. So, and also we are celebrating our 25th anniversary this year. So the little logo up there in the upper right signifies the fact that actually in August, we officially celebrated our 25th anniversary. So very proud of being located here in Erie and in Northwest Pennsylvania and the things that we're doing here. Again, just as a quick introduction, today Logistics Plus is a full service global supply chain solutions company. We have about 300 people here in Northwest Pennsylvania. And we have about another 300 employees across the country and globally. So again, fast approaching 1,000 employees worldwide. We feel like we're large enough and comprehensive enough to connect any links that you have in your supply chain, but we remain very flat, nimble, and responsive to your needs. So again, kind of that sweet spot of being a small, acting like a small business, but really having very comprehensive capabilities to really address anything that you need done on the logistics and supply chain side of things. And we've annually been recognized with a number of awards. The ones we are most particularly fond of, the workplace recognition. Again, we continue to be recognized as having a great workplace, as well as being just a top 3PL within the industry. So again, those solutions you see on the wheel there, all the things that we offer MBA members. Again, today we're going to just focus very quickly on a couple of the areas there, the global trade compliance, the import-export stuff, just kind of give you a sort of a flavor of some of the things that we can help out with in those areas. And then obviously after the webinar is done, if there's any follow-up questions or if anything else that we can help you out with, just let us know. So with that, I'll turn it over to Adam if you want to take over.
Thank you, Scott. Good morning, everybody. This is Adam Mook. So there are many things that we have to consider when we are trading internationally, when we are exporting and importing. And one of the most important things when we're exporting and importing and exporting is understanding the importance of what are called harmonized tariff schedule codes. The acronym is HTS, as you see on the screen. And the harmonized tariff schedule code was developed by a global organization called the World Customs Organization. And the purpose was to define and classify internationally traded goods So every country around the world that's a member of the Global World Customs Organization has their own tariff schedule. And within that tariff schedule, you have numbers. They can be anywhere from 8 to some countries they're all the way up to like 13 digits long. And these 8 to 13 digit numbers classify physical products that we are importing and exporting. So anything that we're shipping, whether it's a computer, clothing, machinery, televisions, they all have a number called a harmonized tariff schedule identified with that physical commodity that we are importing and exporting. So the main thing the HTS code tells us is the duty rate. If there is any duty, it tells us the percentage of what it would cost the importer to pay in duties to their country's government. In the United States, we have a tariff schedule called the U.S. Harmonized Tariff Schedule of the U.S. And when we're importing products into the U.S., our HTS codes are 10 digits long. So if you don't know your HTS code, there are some possible mistakes you can make. For example, you could underpay in duty. So if you're using the wrong code for the actual product that you're importing, you could be underpaying the duty you owe to the government. And the opposite is true too. You could also be overpaying the duty that is owed to the U.S. government. So most people, when they're importing, they think a lot of times the HTS code only is relatable to the duty that they pay. But in reality, as you see on this little chart on the screen, HTS codes are used and tell us much more. For example, if there's any anti-dumping or countervailing tariffs owed on the product, that is tied to the HTS code, in addition to the description of what the product is and the scope of the anti-dumping or countervailing case. They also are used to determine if products qualify for free trade agreements, such as the US-Mexico-Canada agreement, Australia, Bahrain, all the other FTAs. HTS codes are all built within the rules of origin within those agreements. They also tell us if there's any tariff quotas owed. And so there can be, besides the overpayment or underpayment of tariffs and duties, there can be other ramifications if you do not know the correct HTS code, such as, incorrectly classifying and saying your products qualify for a free trade agreement, making mistakes in your duty drawback program, and things of that nature. And Logistics Plus, in a couple slides, Gretchen will talk about our customs brokerage service offerings, and identification of proper HTS codes is one thing that our company assists with. Next slide, please. So when we're exporting or importing, anytime we're engaged with a customer or supplier internationally, there are several elements that we need to consider in our global contracts and our sales contracts. One of those is the Incoterms rules. Incoterms like, for example, Ex-Works, FOB, CPT. There's currently 11 Incoterm rules in the Incoterms 2020 version that is governed by the International Chamber of Commerce. And essentially, the Incoterms rules tell the seller and the buyer who is paying for which portion of the freight costs. So who's paying for inland pre-carriage, who's paying for the main carriage, port-to-port leg of the shipment, and then who's paying for the on-carriage in the country of import. And they also tell the importer and the exporter who's responsible for any risk or damage to the goods if they are lost or damaged in transit. So it's important to understand Incoterm rules so you understand the split between who's paying which aspects, which legs of the freight for the international shipment, and who's responsible for the risk of any loss or damage. We should also have a good understanding on payment terms, if you're exporting, whether you're offering cash in advance to your foreign buyer, extending credit, or working with a letter of credit. Transferring of title, when and how do you transfer title, is a separate aspect, separate contractual consideration, not tied to Incoterms. Many people make that mistake. They think that the name place within their Incoterm rule is tied to where they transfer title. And that's not true. A transfer title is a separate aspect of your international contract. And then when you're importing and exporting, you need to understand, are there any export licenses needed? Or when you're importing, are there any permits or licenses needed to import the product into the US? So a license or permit is essentially permission, obtaining permission from the government agency that has jurisdiction over your products, whether it be the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the FDA, the Department of Agricultural, and other agencies. And also there's, besides the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, they are the primary U.S. government agency that oversees imports. And there are several other what are called partner governing agencies, such as the FDA, Department of Ag, et cetera, that also have jurisdiction over certain imports. And then customs clearance. If you're importing, are you using a U.S. customs broker to assist with your clearance of your goods? If in fact you're shipping with the Incoterm rule, deliver duty paid, heaven forbid, if you're responsible to import the products into the country you're selling to, you need to understand all the import clearance requirements in that foreign country. Next slide, please. So on this slide, this lists some of the training programs, the workforce training programs that Logistics Plus offers. And so we offer these workforce training educational seminars for companies individually, and we also offer them on occasion in public settings. We've done some public seminars on site at the Manufacturers Association, for example. And you see on the screen here, we offer all kinds of different programs, export administration regulations, creating an export manual or import manuals, free trade agreement qualification, ITAR, Incoterms, export procedures and documentation, and the harmonized system, which entails proper identification and classification for your goods for the right HTS goods. And there's some import training programs we offer as well on your screen there. And on the topic of importing, I will now turn it over to Gretchen Blau. She is our manager of our customs brokerage division.
Hi. We actually do our customs brokerage in-house. We started about 8 years ago at Logistics Plus. Prior to that, we used an outside broker, but when I got my customs brokerage license, I started doing customs brokerage in-house. We now have expanded in those 8 years to have offices in Erie, Dallas, and Charlotte. We can file customs brokerage entries at any port. There are few exceptions to that because there are certain commodities that require live entries, but we have partner brokers at all of those ports. So we make it nice and convenient for our customers, kind of one-stop shopping. You just come to us, we find out what exactly you need from a customs brokerage perspective, and we take care of it for you. We offer our customers personalized service. Even though we are still a small brokerage, like I said, we can do customs brokerage at any port. But the nice thing about having a smaller customs broker is that we get to know you and your products. Sometimes often the larger brokers just take the description at face value on your invoice, classify it, don't really check with you, you don't have much feedback or a dialogue as to whether it qualifies for a free trade agreement or whatnot. It's almost too easy because they're not checking all the things that could be saving you money. They're not checking all the things that could keep you in compliance and out of trouble with Customs and Border Protection. So we always get to have a relationship with our clients. We actually have made on-site visits to clarify what exactly the products are. One customer told us these were, their items were tubes. It turns out that they weren't tubes in the sense of you go to Home Depot and pick up tubes for plumbing or whatnot. They were actually very specialized and should be classified as that specialized product. So therefore, by going to the plant, making a plant visit and seeing exactly what they were talking about, we saved our customer a lot of money because since they were a specialized product, they were classified differently. The duty rate was lower, and it made them very happy. So we're always happy to help out our customers that way. If you're looking to import a new product that you haven't imported previously, or you're looking to change your sourcing from another country. We all know about the China tariffs. The 301 tariffs are still in effect. They can be anywhere from 7.5% up to 25% for products from China. If you're looking at changing your sourcing, we can definitely help you ahead of time and, run those costs with you and let you know what your tariff rate in, different countries would be. Let you know if there's a free trade agreement available and how to qualify for that. And then, your landed costs up front. There's no surprises when you go to import. It's, what we've told you as an estimate is what you end up paying when it gets here. We work with our ops team very closely. They have more of a relationship with the customer in that they, talk to them about routing the freight and whatnot, but we work together with them and we provide a seamless process. Depending on your Incoterms, our team would set the shipment up at origin or whatnot. The ISF would be filed, which is the declaration to U.S. Customs before the goods depart. We work with them to make sure that the ISF is correct. The goods are in transit. They get here about 3 to 5 days out from actual arrival. The ops team passes along all the paperwork to us. We go back and forth with any questions with the customers. And then we file the import clearance, and our ops team goes in and picks everything up. So it's very seamless process to our customers. We all have our individual roles, but we make sure that everything's taken care of for our customers, and it's very convenient that way. And that.
Does that cover it?
Yep, that pretty much covers my area.
Okay. Well, again, we meant this to be very brief and concise, just to give you guys a flavor, give members a flavor of some of the things we can do on the import side as well as the global trade compliance side. So again, if you're struggling with any of these types of questions or issues, if you think you're paying more on freight and logistics than you think you should be, you don't have the in-house expertise. We really do view ourselves as an extension of your team. So whether it's on the compliance side, import side, domestic transportation side, we are here partnered with the MBA to help members through all that activity. So again, I would say if you have any, well, certainly at the end here, if anybody has any questions, please let us know. Otherwise, you can reach out to us at mbausa@logisticsplus.com, that email address you see on the slide. You can also visit the mbausa.org webpage under /logistics, and there's a little bit more information as well as a request form there if you want to request some contact and maybe a follow-up on any of these items. So again, thank you for the opportunity to introduce this information. And does anybody have any questions before we close? I assume not. So Patty, anything to end up with?
I just wanted to say thank you to our partners at Logistics Plus. That was informative. We are hosting these webinars on a regular basis. So if you have ideas or suggestions that you want to hear about with this program, please reach out and either email me or Logistics Plus and let us know what you're interested in, what content that you are looking for. And I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday season. And once again, thank you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to either the MBA or Logistics Plus. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
You too.